play a standard shuffle beat. Now these shuffle beats are very cool to play and almost essential if you're out playing gigs, if you're out playing bars, if you're playing with other musicians in general, there's going to be a shuffle beat that you'll need to play. So let's talk about what a shuffle beat is. First of all, we're gonna step one step back and we're gonna talk about a straight beat. So what I call a straight beat is something where the hi-hat is playing only eighth notes, in some cases quarter notes, on the hi-hat, and it's just pretty much is straight down the line. Now a shuffle beat is really an interesting beat to learn because what you're doing is you're taking triplets, triplet, 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 and you're taking out the middle partial of every triplet. Triplet, 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 trip. So what I'm doing yet again is I'm putting a rest, an eighth note rest in the middle of that triplet partial so that one triplet only has two beats. Listen right here. If I'm playing triplet, I'm only playing the first and last beat. It's going to sound like this. Triplet, triplet. And then we go into the next triplet. Triplet, trip. Triplet, 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 one. So that's going to be the foundation of this groove of any type of shuffle beat. It's going to be our right hand playing a shuffle pattern on the hi-hat or the ride cymbal in the same exact way that we just did. Now let's talk about what the bass drum and the snare drum do. The bass drum is going to be on 1. And depending on what type of shuffle we need, the snare drum is going to alternate either from a 2 and a 4 pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, or we're going to play it in a halftime fill, which is my favorite shuffle pattern to play, where the snare drum hits on beat number 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. First, I'm going to demonstrate the first one I talked about, which is going to be that kind of quintessential shuffle pattern with the snare drum hitting on 2 and 4, and your bass drum hitting on 1 and 3. Let's just get the bass drum and the snare drum down. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now what we do is we layer our right hand on top to that hi-hat to create that shuffle fill. 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. Now, if you feel like that's a lot, and that's pretty tough to do, it is. It's really hard for your right hand to be nice and rounded. We don't want it to be too short. If it's too short, it's going to start sounding like a couple of 16th notes on top of each other. We don't want that. What we want is a nice elongated shuffle pattern. So I'll demonstrate just what my right hand is doing one more time, and feel free to practice at home when you try this. Here we go. Triplet, 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 triplet. Triplet, 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 1. I'll do it one more time a little bit faster. That's how I get these grooves kind of underneath my hands really well, is I start slow and then I build up the tempo. So here's a little bit faster. Triplet, 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 triplet. Triplet, 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 1. Yet again, taking out that middle partial from that triplet groove. Here we go, we're gonna try the same thing, the normal standard shuffle beat with our snare drum on 2 and 4 and our bass drum on 1 and 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's talk about the halftime fill shuffle, which is my favorite to play. This time you're going to put a bass drum on 1, and then your snare drum is going to hit on beat number 3. It's going to sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This allows a lot more room for your right hand or your left hand, depending on what hand you're dominant in, to play that shuffle fill. Let's watch it. I'm going to slow it down for you one time, really try to make sure you're watching what my right hand is doing, what my bass drum and my snare drum are doing. Here's that again, kind of slow. Now what really makes this groove kind of power through is what your hi-hat is doing. not necessarily your hand, but also your foot. You can open up your hi-hat foot a little bit and kind of create this really cool thrashy type of swing beat. Watch this. We can close it down, clamp it really tight, and get more of a staccato type of groove as well. So you can apply this all over the drum set. You can do it on your hi-hat, you can do it on your ride cymbal. Here's an example of switching it back and forth between my hi-hat and my ride cymbal. Now, once you have that down, just like any other type of groove that we'll learn, you can always layer more things on top of it. So we can start by layering the bass drum. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play a different bass drum pattern. I want you to try to create your own bass drum patterns underneath the shuffle beat, because the bass drum on 1 and 3 or on just on 1 can really get kind of boring after a while. Once you have the foundation of the shuffle beat, then I want you to try experimenting. So here's a couple more examples of the shuffle beat with some different types of bass drums. Thanks for tuning in here at Stokes Music Studios online. Really appreciate you watching the videos. Don't forget to click the bell and subscribe to the channel. Stick around towards the end of the video, and you're also going to find out a way for you to access a free online lesson here at Stokes Music Studios. Thank you so much.